So today we're going to be going over 10 of the longest lasting affordable men's fragrances that have ever been created. So again, there's a catch there that you might have heard, or maybe it slipped past you, but it's the key word affordable. Now, unfortunately, doing a video like this could get very expensive very quick. I do plan on doing a video on just the longest lasting men's fragrances, period. But I gotta warn you in advance for that one. It's probably gonna be mostly all niche. That's just unfortunate, but it's how it goes. You really get into some of those heavy hitter niche, multiple hundreds of dollars for a bottle, and that's where you get into some of the most famously longest projecting, longest lasting fragrances ever. But not all of us want to spend that type of money. So this video is going to be an affordable alternative to a video like that, where basically I'm looking at things that are around $120 and below. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, at $120 affordable in the grand scheme of things compared to what would be like in a real video like this with everything on the market. Yeah, that's affordable. Keep in mind, it's all relative here. And these are going to be much more easily obtainable compared to if I were to do that video and just go after everything. So if you're on a budget, but you still want some super long lasting scents, this is going to be the one for you. So make sure you stay tuned, and also make sure you use the links down below, because those are going to take you to discounters, and that's what makes this video affordable. If you're paying just straight up retail for all of these, it wouldn't be nearly as affordable. I also have a mailing list you can sign up to, where if you want to get rare, hard to find, discontinued fragrance deals to your inbox, you can do so. I also post those deals on my community tab, but you don't get a notification for that. So the email is a way for you to actually be notified when something comes in stock. Could be anything like Dior Homme Parfum, Guerlain L'Homme Idéal Extreme, some other discontinued things like some of the Hugo Boss, the scent fragrances, Intense and Private Accord are discontinued now, and those recently popped up and you guys were able to get them. So just a whole bunch of things that you can get that you may not normally otherwise be able to. Starting off with a scent that's around $35, 100 ml, Bentley for Men Intense. So this one is all about the rum, incense, and woods in here, some leather also. Boozy, smoky, woody, masculine, and very mature, very classic. There's nothing new or youthful or playful or blue fragrancy about this one. This is traditional, this is strong, this is not like what you're probably used to smelling for a lot of you guys out there. So the price point really makes this one tough, because people will just go right into it completely blind, not doing any research, and they end up with something that they don't like because they thought they were going to like it because it's 35 bucks. You got to make sure you do your research. I've talked about this one a million times on the channel, so go check out some of those videos. Not for everybody, but for the people who do like this, you'll be happy to know that this is a super long lasting scent. 12, 14 plus hours is insane out of this one, especially for a cheapie. Next up, we have Armani Code Profumo. Has tonka bean, cardamom, leather, and amber in here. So this one is a parfum concentrated scent, and it performs that way. Longevity is no issue for this one. 12, 14 hours on a consistent basis, and you really can't beat that. You really don't need much more than that. For what it's worth, it also has really good projection. When this one was getting its main wave of hype, a few years back, it was kind of known as one of the clubbing scents. You take a look at something like this, and Eros and Ultramale, all the clubbing fragrances. Yeah, that's where this one kind of fell. And that's because it has that performance also combined with overall a very sweet DNA. So you got to be into sweet DNA fragrances to like this. And if you are, and you like performance, you are going to love this stuff. A little bit of an oddball one up next. This is a scent that can sometimes be a little bit hard to smell, and you'll know what I mean in a second. It's Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. So this is ISO E Super, and that's it. So one of the benefits of having this is you can use it to kind of enhance some of your other scents. Maybe if you have one that doesn't perform as well, you could spray this on as a base layer, and pretty much anything can layer over top of it effortlessly, and now you've essentially gone to help increase or boost the performance of that original scent that maybe doesn't do so well. Not for nothing, this can also be worn on its own. It's a very light, woody, wispy, transparent smell, and again, because it's only one molecule and it is of that variety, light, wispy, and mildly woody, it can be a little bit hard to actually smell. but this aroma chemical compound is used in probably more fragrances than not, even if it's not listed. It's used heavily in something like Dior Homme 2020 to help allude to that woodiness and masculine smell. And ultimately, this here, just this by itself, has great performance. But again, you can also use it to boost up some other things. So I figured I would throw this in. Next up, why eau de parfum? So you could either go with this or the parfum, kind of splitting hairs. You know, the parfum itself is a lait parfum, which I think technically is still an EDP, although I could be wrong. I really don't know for sure, but I think it is. There's some lait parfums out there that I think are still just glorified eau de parfums, or their eau de parfum intenses. Not that it matters a whole lot. Either one will work really well for this video. Just depends on which one you like better. But generally, I think for a lot of you guys, the eau de parfum is kind of the one you go for. It's more affordable, and it still has more than enough performance, clocking in at 12 plus hours pretty much every time. I mean, this stuff is very strong, especially for a fresher scent, a fruitier, sweet scent, kind of a blue scent. Has above average performance here, and it's a big compliment getter as well. Okay, up next, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Lait Parfum. So here is another Lait Parfum. I don't even know if they have, so see, this is a Lait Parfum, and it's an eau de parfum intense. So that's exactly my point right there. Again, not to harp on the whole concentration thing, there are some eau de toilettes out there that could have been in this video, especially niche ones. So it's not everything, but I wanted to point that out. Now, this one has iris, has cardamom, has vanilla, some lavender, smells beautiful. This is a very well done flanker. If the original is too boring for you and Ultra Male is too sickeningly sweet, this is going to be a really nice middle ground. Still very sweet, but not nearly to that level. It's a little bit more spicy and a little bit more refined, even a little bit more mature, and I really like it for that reason. But it does have great performance. Longevity is no problem. Consistently 10, 12 plus hours. Also, it's really, really easy to pull off in wintertime, fall, wintertime wear. It's one that you'll get your usage out of. It won't just sit there and collect dust all the time. You know, this is one that you can wear pretty easily for a lot of situations. Now, this next one is around $55, I believe. 100 ml bottle. Ferragamo, UOMO, just the original here. I really like it a lot. This is one that a lot of people might dismiss, you might pass on initially, but I do think it's worth you give it a try if you're in the market for a sweet gourmand scent on a budget. Now, this literally has sweet notes. There's some cardamom, there's tonka bean, and even a little bit of ambroxan. Now, essentially what that does here is it just gives it a little bit of a bright sparkle off the top. You know, this isn't a blue fragrance, right? As much as you might assume to think that with ambroxan, which plagues the blue fragrance DNA. That's not this. You know, you really get this chocolatey, sweet, spicy, warm dessert smell, this almost tiramisu quality. Really, really delicious, addicting stuff, and it has great performance, very strong. And actually, one of the things with this, for some people, it's almost too strong, and that's where some of the negativity comes from, believe it or not. So if you are not shy in terms of performance, you got to get this one if you don't have it yet. Now, same deal with this. It's around the same price point. I think I saw this at like $47, $50, 100 ml, and this one fluctuates heavily. Now would be the time to buy this because I don't view this as a winter scent. I actually view this as a spring and summer scent. The reason why I say you should maybe consider it now is because when spring and summer comes around, this stuff is in high demand. It gets hot and people are buying it up, and it will go out of stock for weeks, if not even months at a time. I've seen it. And I saw that towards the end of summer 2022. It's RASASI HAWAS. So this has plum, ambergris, or really ambroxan, apple, bergamot, and watery notes. And essentially, this is the Invictus Aqua DNA originator. 2015 release, has great performance. So when you're looking at your beast mode summer scents, on the designer side, and what's in production right now, there's only so many of them. Aqua Atlantique was a huge heavy hitter, but they discontinued that. And so you're only left with so many that are in production and that are affordable designer fragrances. Why eau de parfum? We kind of covered that, although it is sweeter. This one's sweeter, but it's fresher than Eau de Parfum, and you still get that amazing longevity and just amazing performance all around. One of my favorites. It made it really, really high on my summer list last year. Gotta say, it's probably gonna make it high on my summer list this year as well, because I'm going to be wearing this a lot. I love it, and I recommend you guys get it as well if you're into this sort of thing. Okay, let's keep it moving with Guerlain L'Homme Ideal L'Intense. So this is, believe it or not, right now, one of the more affordable ones. You know, sometimes the Eau de Parfum is, when it's in stock, it's generally at $100. The Extreme, L'Homme Ideal Extreme, when in stock, usually around $100, right? They're still affordable, and they would still fit the criteria for this video. When you take a look at the broad picture, that's not that bad. However, this one, $68, $70, 100 ml testers and full presentation. When they're available, usually around $80, $85, so more affordable, and this is one of the stronger ones. Now this has smoke, it's got chili pepper, it has tonka bean, and it has that signature almond note. So that's what it's all about first and foremost, is that almond, but then the smokiness and the spiciness is what sets this one apart to the others, and I really like it. It really kind of gives you a different take on that DNA, and it really wakes you up. When you smell the opening of this stuff and you spray it, it's strong, it hits hard, it has great longevity. Second to last, we have HARAMAIN L'Aventure Intense. So one of the strongest Creed Aventus clones that I have tried, at least on the affordable end of things. You know, this is around $30 or so, somewhere around in there, which is kind of on par with a lot of the cheaper Aventus clones. There's many out there that are much more expensive. There's niche ones out there that are much more expensive and also have great performance, but on the affordable end of things, one of the strongest ones. And I recently did a Creed Aventus buying guide, or Creed Aventus clone buying guide. This made it #1 ranked off of performance. So very strong stuff. If you're after a strong Aventus clone on a budget, I recommend you check this one out. And also, just as an aside, it's a great Aventus clone. You know, not only is the performance the only thing to rave about, but it also smells very close to Creed Aventus. Quality is decent for the price as well. It's a really nice one. Now, this last one is a niche product. However, it's right now 120 ml testers with a cap for like $77. So, I mean, we're talking cheaper than some designers in this video, cheaper than a good bulk majority of some of the designers in here, which is pretty crazy. It's from MANCERA, right? About the only niche brand that you would think of at this price point. CEDRAT, just the original, the Eau de Parfum. Now, this could have been replaced with something like MANCERA Red Tobacco. I've done a lot of beast mode fragrance videos, and Red Tobacco has made it in all of them, and so I feel like at some point I got to do something different. So this is me saying Red Tobacco, pretty much a no-brainer to fit in this list. Usually that's around $90 as well. You guys know it at this point. Let's talk about something at least a little bit different. I mean, CEDRAT, it's still hyped up to death, but it's different than Red Tobacco. And also, for what it's worth, this is much more wearable and more mass-pleasing than Red Tobacco as well. So this has a bunch of notes. Woods, like general just woods. There's fruity notes, general fruity notes. There's black currant, there's lemon, there's bergamot. There's a whole bunch of notes going on. I think there's, even when you get down into the base, some sweeter notes like a vanilla and some things like that. I don't know if there's an ambergris, or ambroxan, but there does appear to be smell-wise. But I really love this DNA. I've loved it for years. This was my first ever niche scent. This very bottle right here, my first ever purchase. You can see I've worn a ton of it. I have another bottle as well of the Eau de Parfum, and also the Eau de Parfum, or the Parfum Intense, the Extrait, the new one, the Intense version. That could have also been in here, although a little bit more expensive and out of stock right now. But ultimately, MANCERA can be kind of your typical go-to brand for affordability and performance all in one package. I just wanted to feature this, but pick your favorite MANCERA and put it in here basically. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 of the longest lasting, affordable men's fragrances that you can currently buy. Now, of course, there could have been many more, right? Can only narrow it down to so many, and I wanted this to be a digestible piece of content to where you wouldn't be completely overwhelmed if I listed off like 15 or 20. You know, maybe I'll do a follow-up to this video on the affordable side, and at some point, I'll gather together just all of the strongest ones, just in general, not concerned about price. It will be an expensive video, but I'm sure some of you crazy guys out there want to see it. So I will provide links down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.